We don't need a hot water. I can throw away the water.
Yes, sir.
I just want it out of the way because we have.
So what we're gonna do, we're gonna get some other types of controls later that don't rely on this. So this is just a simple kind of like, whoops, oops. Something tripped.
That touch. Right there, that touch.
Okay, okay. So yeah, we got to secure those a little bit better. But so that was short. That was short right there. Now, fortunately for us, it's not drawing so much power that it was, you know, going to be a really big problem. But you know, this is the good thing. You know, we want to learn in these environments. So.
What is this? Let's just set it for ahead of that angle.
Huh? What?
Well, I had this in an angle.
Okay, don't worry about that. So yeah, I'm gonna tape this up a little bit better.
Right there, sir. Right in front of you.
Oh yeah. Taped up too good.
Razor blade.
That's fine. So we're not. We don't need this. Well, no. So
This is the
this ion thing. We don't need this. Take that out. Trying to get rid of anything we don't really need right now.
You could close it a little so it could stay.
Mhm.
Put it halfway and close it.
Piece of tape. Yeah, tape. Thank you. Okay, should be good there.
Yeah, those things are necessary. And the neck to work with, but
Well,
it's a safety mechanism that
electricity takes the path of least resistance. So if these two are open, it's going to bypass the switch and go across there. This thermostat, they go on there. I don't think we need this for now. Screwdriver. All these parts, we may reuse it for something else, but if we don't need it now. Yeah, meters.
Switch.
It's off? No. This thing just fell right off. Wow. We don't have any of those bridge pieces anywhere. They don't come. I don't know. I'll get some. Don't worry about it. I'll get some.
With that one, just make it tight. Use the pliers and put pressure on it. Not too much pressure, so that
I mean, if this was a real job, we use the wire nuts or something like that.
correct.
To splice it, but
If you need more tape, let me know.
where's the
Just the ends, right? This ends, just squeeze them a little, not too tight. Oh, right here. No, right. Where your thumb, right there. See this bridge right there? Just squeeze those. That's what's happening. Go ahead. I'll get this end, and you get that end, and squeeze that center point, right there. That's what it is. See, now it's a lot better.
we'll put this. God damn it! It's still not gonna hold. So we'll
do
just tape
this,
it.
Sir,
We'll tape it on
this
the
way.
outside. Hang on. Let me put this on.
Do the other side then.
Yeah, this stupid thing. I think this thing melted a little bit.
It's just that it's very thin and this is thick. That's all it is.
Okay. So here, tape around this thing now. Yes. Okay. Okay. Let's fire it up. There we go.
Now we're gonna recover. Or
Yeah. Oh, those amps firing right up. Okay.
wire. You see how hot it is?
Well, it's a little cool. So this is our return and our supply going that way.
It's hot in this.
Our answer, yeah, it's hot. Okay, so let's say if we wanted to recover a little bit. So remember what I was saying earlier with charging vapor versus charging liquid?
Yeah.
So it's very easy to overcharge with liquid. So let's, you gotta purge those lines. No. You gotta purge those lines.
We'll push it on. So you're gonna open both of them up, or
So just from the high side. Because remember something, if you open up the low side, what's gonna happen? So did you purge already? So let's purge. And open up both valves. discharge. Okay, the tank is closed, right? Okay, now you got to purge there because we don't want to put air in the tank. Yep. Okay. Now, let's say if we opened up, so open up your suction right now. Open it all the way. Okay, now you see the suction is going up, right? Because all it just happened was, it just took whatever refrigerant was in that line, right? Now open up your suction, open the suction, and open your discharge and watch what happens. It's going to equalize. So it's equalizing. So yeah, close your suction. So if I'm doing, we call it passive recovery. A passive recovery means I'm using the system compressor to push the refrigerant out, then I'm only pushing from the high pressure side. Because if you try to push from the low pressure side, close the discharge, close the discharge. Open up the suction. So my suction pressure is going up because it's pulling. So if I'm trying to push out, I'm only pushing out from the high side. Okay, if I'm trying to pull in, so it's a good exercise. So we'll do a little bit of both. So open up the tank. You know what? We made a mistake. It's fine. So we connected to the liquid on the tank. I like to connect to the vapor, so that way when I disconnect, it's not a lot of refrigerant coming out. But it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. No, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. We'll see what happens at the end. But open up the tank. No. Oh, snap. You know what? We never opened the tank before, so there shouldn't be that much. So close the tank. Close the discharge. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about. Disconnect the hose, and you'll see how much comes out of here. Because remember, the recovery machine has a condenser. No, okay. You see that? That's just from opening the hoses, right? So, yep, keep going. And you see how it's getting frostbit, right? That's what happened to your skin. So I like to have it on the vapor side so that when I disconnect, there's as little liquid as possible inside of that line. Whatever you connect to that red hose, you're getting, liquid pushing back the other way. I don't want that liquid pushing back the other way. Then I'm trying to disconnect my hose. Okay, so open up my discharge again on the tank. Okay, purge the hose. See how greasy it is? Remember we talked about the oil? That's what happens. Yep. Okay, open up my tank. Okay, so now I have flow, but it's flowing backwards, right? So just open up the discharge, see what happens. Don't turn on the recovery machine. Just the discharge, suction slows, and you'll see it. You can hear it because the pressure in the system is higher than the pressure in the tank. So it's flowing into the tank. Okay, now close. Now what we're trying to look for, so okay, if I'm boiling, let's say I'm boiling at 40, condensing around 105, I check my amps. My amps are under 4, so I'm okay. I'm good. But here's the thing, right? I still have that refrigerant inside the line. So let's say if I want to pull it back, now open the suction. Close the discharge, close the tank. Sorry, close the tank. Open the suction, and it's just going to pull it right back in. So it's pulling right back in. Yep.
And it went a little up.
And it went up a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So now I'm boiling around 40. So I say we're pretty good. So get my temperature gun. So my discharge, it's around 100. My supply air, 59-ish. My coil, around 50-ish. That's perfect. That's perfect. It says here, I'm boiling at 40. My temperature on my coil is 50. It was 50, so that means I got 10 degrees of superheat, right?
Very good.
That's it.
Perfect.
Yes, sir.
So now, close this valve and purge it.
Well, no, so if we want to leave this running, then we should be good. So now
No, I'm talking about
The line.
I just pulled it back. So if you open up the suction and the tank is closed, you just pulled all the refrigerant back into the machine.
Yeah.
So the line should be clear now. Make sure that's off.
Close that, close the tanks, the machine tanks.
So just to make it clear, like the suction line is gonna be like the low pressure.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Okay, close yeah. And now disconnect the recovery machine. Now that discharge, the discharge going to the tank might have a little bit, but the rest of them should be pretty quick.
Yeah, so my point was, can we purge if this valve is closed, so we can make sure that everything is pushed back and we only have a little bit here.
So that purging is purging air. So what
We don't
we
wanna
would,
do that.
what you're talking about is just try to empty the lines a little bit so you're not bleeding as much.
Yeah.
That's where you have to pull it into the system. So it can only go to the tank or it can go to the system. Yeah. So that's why I like to be very careful when I'm charging the machine to make sure I want it to be just under where I want it to be. And then run the machine and then have it pull all the refrigerant out of the line before I disconnect. That way I'm releasing as little as possible. Most guys, they don't care. Like they're just, you wouldn't even believe how much refrigerant is just getting dumped to the atmosphere every day. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So we took the controls from one system, threw it on another one. So we're gonna do a lot more of this. Yeah, it's much colder. So you can feel it's much colder than it was before. Yeah. Well, yeah, we'll shut it down. We'll shut it down. So it's something very interesting. Do you hear how the compressor stays running even when you cut the power off? That's because of the capacitor.
It's doing a vacuum, right? Huh? You said that it kept running the compressor?
Yes, even when we turn the power off here,
It continued.
the compressor kept running because it's still getting power from the capacitor.
Correct.
So that's because we jumped it. Like guys,
That power was coming from the capacitor. Not
coming from the capacitor, yeah. Yeah. I mean, think about that.
Yeah.
Think about that. That's why I tell people, man, until you actually physically get your mitts on this stuff, there's no way you can like really, really get it. It's crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy.
So purge the line and
Well, no. So, yeah, so
here's your.
So guys, understand something. These hoses, let me show you guys. These are called anti-blowback hoses. So this machine is under pretty good pressure, and you'll hear this. You heard that? So that's what happens when the pin in the hose disconnects from the pin in the unit, right? Okay. There's refrigerant. Ooh, this is hot. Feel it. Feel it. That's just from touching the metal on the discharge line, right? Okay, so there's refrigerant inside of these hoses. A little bit. All right, now I'm gonna show you guys something. If you don't use the anti-blowback hoses, what you're gonna get. Hello, Star Stack. Okay, so we're gonna use a hose that has a pin, but it's not an anti-blowback hose. Use that hose right here. Sorry. Okay, so I'm gonna use an adapter here. Use an adapter. Okay, so I'm gonna use this. So this is called a low loss fitting. This is a low loss fitting, and I can close here. I can close this here just to prevent filling up my hose with refrigerant. So you see the difference without the anti-blowback hose. So this is a pin depressor, but it doesn't have that anti-blowback feature. So back up a little bit. So you see the difference where, because of the pressure in there, it's releasing more refrigerant. That's because when I connect here, this is not closing. All that is, if you look here, you can see there's a gap around the sides. So all this is a pin depressor. So if I come here, I'll open my hose now. Come here, connect this up. Okay, so I'm connected here. I'm reading my system pressure, right? Now I'm gonna close my ball valve here. So I'm closed here. I'm gonna disconnect. So you see that spray? This is in my hose. Okay, so that's where the advantage of, and this is why you have to be familiar with the different types. Where's the red hose we just had? So with something like this, you know, this is saving all that refrigerant spraying all over the place when we're connecting, disconnecting our hoses. There's still going to be refrigerant in the hose, but at least we're not getting all that, they call it blowback. So got to know our tools. So that was pretty cool. Yeah, so